There's a hidden principle that separates people who try from people who truly master a skill. Today you'll see why most people stay stuck at the beginner level no matter how much effort they put in. Think about it. You've probably seen someone who seems to pick up anything effortlessly. They learn an instrument faster than everyone else. They grasp a new language in weeks. They start businesses while others struggle to get organized. And what do most people say? They're just talented. They were born that way. They got lucky. You've heard it. Maybe you've even said it yourself. That belief is comforting because it gives us an excuse to stop trying. I don't have that gift, so mastery isn't for me. But here's the truth. People who excel quickly aren't born smarter. They don't have secret talents. They follow a process most of us never learn. Long ago in Japan, there was a method of learning so effective that ordinary villagers became skilled craftsmen and warriors became masters remembered for generations. It wasn't about talent. It was about understanding 3 stages of learning, later called shuhari. Once you understand it, you stop hopping from one goal to another without finishing anything. You become someone who can deliberately master a skill, when you decide to. But there's a cost. To follow this path, you must set aside your ego and embrace discipline. Before we go deeper, take a moment, subscribe, like, and comment below. What skill do you want to master? Guitar? Coding? A new language? I read and reply to many comments. Now let's continue. Chapter 1. The young aspirant. This story begins in Japan. A young boy named Yamato had one obsession. He wanted to become a warrior. He wasn't born into a family of samurai. No mentors, no connections. Only an intense desire that consumed him. While other boys accepted ordinary lives, Yamato watched passing warriors. Their calm movements, focused discipline, and the respect they commanded without a word fascinated him. At 16, he began practicing alone with a wooden sword. He woke before sunrise and repeated the movements he had memorized: horizontal cuts, vertical strikes, forward thrusts. Day after day, hour after hour. 6 months passed. Nothing changed. The sword felt heavy. His movements awkward. His body refused to obey his imagination. The more he practiced, the more frustrated he became. So he turned to study. He read battle records, memorized techniques, learned the warrior codes. His mind filled with knowledge, yet when he lifted the sword, it vanished. A year passed. He was still just a village boy swinging a wooden blade. Until one afternoon, everything changed. Chapter 2. The encounter. While practicing near the forest, a voice called from behind, "Your stance is off. Your balance is off. Your breathing is off." Yamato turned. An older man stood there, gray hair tied back, scars etched across his face, 2 swords at his side. A real warrior. Embarrassment flooded him. "I'm trying to learn on my own," he said quietly. "I have no teacher." The warrior studied him silently. "How long have you been practicing?" "1 year, sir." "And what has improved?" Yamato had no answer. The truth was obvious. The warrior took the wooden sword from him. "You think you are training," he said calmly, "but you are actually practicing mistakes. Every incorrect movement teaches the body how to fail faster." Yamato's voice shook. "Then how do I learn properly? I've studied everything I could find." "That," the warrior replied, "is exactly the problem. You tried to build the roof before laying the foundation. You chased strategy before mastering basics. You tried to create before learning to copy." He looked Yamato in the eyes. "There is a path to mastery. It has 3 stages. Miss one and you will remain a beginner forever. You cannot skip it. You cannot rush it. And this path?" Yamato asked quietly. "Shu. Ri." The warrior spoke deliberately. "Shu, follow. Adapt. Ri, transcend. 3 stages. 1 destination. True mastery." Yamato bowed deeply. "Please teach me." The warrior studied him for a long moment, then nodded. "Tomorrow at dawn. The first stage will challenge everything you think you know about learning." Chapter 3. Shu. Total imitation. At sunrise, Yamato waited. The master arrived. "Today Shu begins," he said. "At this stage you do not analyze. You do not experiment. You follow." He took a stance, precise and calm. "Stand exactly like this," the master instructed. Yamato copied him carefully. The master shifted his foot slightly, adjusted his hip by a fraction, and lifted his shoulder almost imperceptibly. "Now breathe," he said. "In through the nose for 3 seconds. Hold for 2. Out through the mouth for 4. They stayed in that position for 10 minutes. Yamato's legs burned. His mind screamed that this was pointless. Finally he spoke. "Master, when do we practice real strikes?" The master turned slowly. "You think posture is unimportant. You think breathing is boring. That is why most never reach mastery." He continued, "Greatness is built in small, precise movements, not in dramatic leaps." Yamato was silent. "Shu is not about creativity," the master explained. "It is about obedience. You repeat until your body understands what your mind cannot yet grasp." Weeks passed. Posture, breathing, basic strikes. Repeated endlessly. No advanced techniques. No flair. Just fundamentals. Again and again. Yamato struggled. "This is too slow. I could be learning more exciting moves. Feels like a waste." But slowly something changed. His body began to move naturally. The posture that once hurt became effortless. Breathing happened automatically. 3 months later, the master demonstrated a horizontal strike. 1,000 times, he said. Exactly like this. Not faster. Not harder. Identical. Yamato practiced it 1,000 times each day for a week. On the 4th day, around strike number 400, something remarkable happened. The movement happened without thought. No instruction needed. His body seemed to know the path instinctively. "Did you feel it?" the master asked. Yamato nodded, speechless. "This is Shu," the master said. "When a skill enters the body so deeply that the mind is no longer needed." Most people never reach this stage because they see repetition as boring. They think they are too smart to repeat basics. Important, if you skip the repetition too soon, patterns never solidify. You remain stuck in conscious effort, slow, tiring, inconsistent. Mastery requires patience. Chapter 4. The Eternal Student Trap. After 6 months of Shu, Yamato had internalized 12 fundamental techniques. One night, the master woke him suddenly. "Execute a vertical strike." Half asleep, Yamato did it perfectly. Yet he noticed something troubling. Other warriors with more years of training knew countless techniques. They could name every style and variation. But watching them fight, something was missing. "Master," Yamato asked, "why do some warriors know so much, yet perform worse than I with less?" The master smiled. "They are trapped," he said. "Trapped in what I call the eternal student's cycle. They collect techniques instead of mastering them. They chase novelty before depth. They abandon things before they become part of them. They are always learning, but never becoming. Knowledge is like owning a map. Mastery is walking the land so many times that the map becomes unnecessary." The master walked to a tree. "Shu gave you the foundation," he said. "You copied without resistance. You repeated until the movements became part of you." He paused. "Now, you are ready to break." "Break?" Yamato asked. "Break what?" "Everything I taught you." Chapter 5. Ha! The freedom to adapt. In Shu, the master explained, "You became my reflection. You moved like me, fought like me. That gave you strength." He drew a circle in the dirt. "This is Shu, the boundaries that kept you safe." Then he stepped outside it. Ha is when you break the circle. He looked Yamato in the eyes. "But be careful. Many misunderstand Ha. They mistake it for rebellion. True Ha isn't rejecting the foundation. It's understanding it deeply enough to adapt, modify, and combine. Break too early and you become sloppy. Skip Shu, and Ha produces someone who knows a little of everything but masters nothing." On the same day, for the first time in 6 months, the master brought in another teacher, a warrior from a different school with techniques and philosophies that conflicted with the first. "For the next year," the master said, "you will train with both of us." Yamato froze. This man's stance is different. His strikes are different. His philosophy, it contradicts everything I've learned. "Won't learning another style undo what you taught me?" he asked cautiously. The master shook his head. "If your foundation were weak, yes. But your Shu is solid. That is why something rare will now happen. You will begin to see the principles that run beneath every style." Thus began the Ha stage. Mornings were spent with the first master, afternoons with the second. At first, Yamato's mind struggled. One style emphasized low posture, patience, and precision. The other favored height, explosive power, and aggression. Everything conflicted. But after months of practice, something shifted. Beneath the surface differences, Yamato began to see the same truths repeated again and again. How energy flows through the body, how attention controls timing, and how awareness defeats force. "The forms are different," his first master said, noticing the change in Yamato's eyes. "But the principles are the same. Shu gave you the form. Ha reveals the principles. When you understand the principles, he continued, forms become tools, not cages. After a year of Ha, Yamato was no longer a copy of either teacher. One morning during training he blocked an attack using the first master's stance, then instantly countered with the second master's explosive strike. The movement was seamless, no planning involved. Both instructors froze. "What was that?" asked the second master. Yamato hesitated. "I don't know. It just happened." The masters exchanged a glance and smiled. "Ha is complete," the first master said. "You are no longer blindly obeying, nor blindly rebelling. You are adapting with understanding." Then he grew serious. "This is where most people stop. They reach Ha and think they've arrived. They mix styles, invent variations, show creativity. But Ha is still a cage. You are bound by techniques even if arranged beautifully. You may be a skilled artist, but not a true master. There is a third stage," he said quietly. "The final stage. And only a few ever reach it, because it demands what most refuse to do. You must let go. Forget everything you know." Chapter 6. Silent Transcendence. In the master explained, you do not use techniques. The techniques use you. Or rather, there are no techniques left. Only direct response to the moment. Yamato frowned. "How can someone fight without techniques?" "You will understand," the master said calmly. "But first, a story. When I was young like you," he continued, "I spent decades studying the sword. I trained in many techniques, many styles. I became known as one of the finest swordsmen in the region. Then one day an old man came to challenge me. He was nearly 80. His back was bent, his steps unsteady. I accepted out of courtesy, expecting a quick duel. The master paused, eyes heavy with memory. He defeated me in 3 movements. And the strangest part? I could not recognize any of his techniques. No style I knew. No labeled strike. Nothing familiar. It was shapeless, like water, adapting instantly to the moment. After the duel, the old man spoke. "You fight well. You know many techniques, but you are still fighting. I don't fight anymore. I only respond. When I move, my body already knows what to do before my mind realizes the question. There is no choice, no strategy, no technique. Only movement." Yamato struggled to understand. "How do I reach that level?" he asked. The answer was simple and frustrating. Time, practice, and eventually, you must stop trying. For the next 5 years, Yamato's training became grueling. The master offered nothing new, no tips, no additional techniques. Instead, Yamato sparred daily against different opponents, styles, and skill levels. At first, his mind was chaotic. Use this block, switch to that counter, combine both styles. Constantly deciding. But slowly something began to fade. Names of techniques dissolved. Labels disappeared. He stopped thinking and simply moved. One day, during a brutal sparring session against 3 opponents at once, a shift occurred. Yamato had no memory of planning his actions. His body dodged, struck, turned, and flowed on its own. When it ended, all 3 opponents were on the ground. Yamato stood calmly, unable to recall a single technique he had used. The master watched from a distance, smiling. "You finally stopped fighting?" he said. "But I defeated 3 people," Yamato replied. "No," the master said quietly. "Your body did." "Your body did it," the master said. "There was no you deciding. Only pure response. This is You have gone beyond technique. The movements are so ingrained that you no longer notice them, they move through you naturally. Modern science supports this. Studies on expert performance show that at the highest levels, the brain's decision-making centers quiet down. Faster, older systems take over. The skill is no longer being performed by the person. It flows through them. Chapter 7. The Nameless Master. Years passed. Yamato was no longer a boy chasing a dream. He became a respected samurai and something more. Students traveled from faraway villages to learn from him. And they all asked the same question. "Master, how many techniques do you know?" Yamato always gave the same answer. None and all. The students were confused. They wanted numbers. Certainty. But Yamato had learned what only comes after completing the full Shuhari path. Techniques are just markers, not the destination. One day, a confident young warrior challenged him. "With respect," the student said, "my teacher knows 500 techniques. How can you surpass him?" Yamato picked up a wooden sword. "Attack me," he said, "with any one of those techniques." The student performed his most polished, rehearsed move. Yamato barely shifted. A subtle angle adjustment, a tiny stance change, and the student fell, disarmed and stunned. You see, Yamato explained, helping him up, I didn't use a technique. My body simply responded to this exact moment. It wasn't technique A, B, or C. It was the only correct response to something that has never happened before and will never happen again. That is the difference between knowing hundreds of techniques and having none. I'm not choosing. I am responding. Chapter 8. The Universal Path. Yamato's journey is not just about swords. It applies to anything you want to master. Just repetition until your fingers move automatically. Begin combining styles. Understand theory. Recognize patterns. You stop thinking about the music. The music flows through you. Programming. Shu, copy code from experts line by line. Follow proven patterns without arguing. Understand why the patterns exist. Adapt them, combine approaches. You no longer write code consciously. You see a problem, the solution flows naturally. Business. Shu, learn from proven models. Don't reinvent the wheel. Adapt strategies to your niche. See the underlying principles. Stop following models. Your intuition senses opportunities before data confirms them. No matter the domain, the path is the same. Most people quit during Shu. Some reach Ha and stop. Almost none reach Ri. Chapter 9. The Modern Trap. Here's the hard truth. Most people will never reach true mastery because they refuse to commit to Shu. Think about it. I don't like rules. I learn better doing my own thing. I'm more creative my way. It feels bold, independent, smart. But it's usually the ego avoiding discomfort. Yamato could have said the same. Why must I copy you exactly? I'm unique. I should create my own style. If he had, he would have remained a villager with opinions but no real skill. Our culture often sells the lie that fundamentals are optional, that copying kills creativity, or that learning from a master is unoriginal. The result? People who know a little about everything, but nothing deeply. People who start dozens of hobbies, abandon all of them and never master any. People often say, I tried guitar, it wasn't for me. No, they didn't fail the guitar. They failed Shu. Here's the hard truth. Mastery isn't about talent. It isn't about time or resources. It's about starting at the right place. Most people try to begin at Ha or even Ri, skipping Shu entirely. They want results without repetition. Identity without humility. Effortless skill without the grind. They want to play like a virtuoso, without months of scales. They want to code like a professional, without a year of copying others. They want a business empire, without studying models that already work. Shu is boring. It's uncomfortable. It forces you to admit you don't know anything. And until you embrace it fully, you'll remain mediocre at everything you touch. The truth that burns. There is no shortcut. Never was. Zen monks knew it. Samurai knew it. Every true master knows it. There is only one path, Shu Ta Ri. Here's how you walk it, starting now. Pick one skill. Not 3. Not 5. One skill that, if mastered, would change your life. Find a master. Someone clearly better than you. If you can't meet them in person, follow one expert online. One voice, one path. Enter Shu with humility. Copy obsessively. No shortcuts. No, my style. Yes, it will feel boring. Yes, you may feel robotic. Good. That means you're doing it right. Enter Ha when the skill flows naturally. Study other approaches, adapt, combine, and question wisely. Enter Ri. Stop thinking. Stop trying. Only respond naturally. That is mastery. This is not a quick sprint. Not months. Years of practice, testing, and integrating. Then, without noticing the exact moment, you arrive at Ri. You execute effortlessly. You create solutions no one else has imagined. You move beyond technique itself. The evidence. A long-term study by Oxford University, analyzing over 500 world-class masters across music, sports, programming, martial arts, and business, revealed a striking pattern. Intense imitation. 1 to 3 years experimentation and combination. 3 to 7 years intuition and innovation. True mastery emerges, no exceptions. Not even prodigies. The only difference was speed, never the sequence. No one skipped Shu. Yamato's legacy. Yamato lived to 87, training hundreds of students. On his final day, one disciple asked, Master, what was your greatest regret? He replied quietly, My only regret is that I didn't enter Shu sooner. I spent a year trying to teach myself, thinking I could find a better way. 1 extra year of mastery is worth more than any gold. He told his students, find a master. Copy without ego. Mastery is not about being original at the start. It's about becoming so skilled that originality becomes unavoidable. 3 days later, Yamato passed peacefully, leaving the most important lesson behind. Shuhari is not just a method. It's a mirror. It reflects who you are and who you will become. The impatient version chasing hacks and shortcuts, never mastering anything. The patient version willing to copy perfectly, repeat endlessly, and walk the long path without ego. That version already exists. Waiting. Shuhari works. The question is, are you willing to pay the price mastery demands? Yamato was a village boy. No talent, no advantages. The only choice he made was to obey before questioning, imitate before innovating, master basics before chasing the advanced. That choice made him a master remembered for generations. You face the same choice. The path is open. Spend the next 5 years searching for a non-existent shortcut, or commit fully, walk the path and become extraordinary. Mastery is waiting, but it won't come to you. You must walk to it, step by step, repetition by repetition. The path is ancient, proven, effective. If this video gave you a new understanding of mastery, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. What one skill will you master using Shuhari? Stop watching. Start walking. Enter Shu. Years from now, you'll look back and barely recognize who you used to be. Until the next video, enjoy the journey.